The Crystal Palace stretched across the mountain like a frozen waterfall. Its walls sparkled with blue and green light that moved like living things. Emperor Dai-Ho sat on his massive throne, watching the tiny creatures below him argue about trade routes and cargo prices. The humans looked so small and weak. Their ship had landed 3 days ago, asking for permission to trade in his empire. Dai-Ho found them amusing. They had no scales, no claws, no natural weapons at all, just soft pink skin and worried expressions. "Your Majesty," said Captain Jin Woo, bowing low. "We bring gifts from Earth and hope to establish peaceful trade." Dai-Ho's laugh rumbled through the throne room like distant thunder. The sound made the humans step back in fear. Good. They should fear him. He was emperor of 12 star systems, ruler of 1,000 worlds. His people had conquered space when these humans were still living in caves. But the laugh stopped when pain shot through his left arm. Dai-Ho looked down at his hand. The gray stone had spread again. Yesterday, it had only covered his fingertips. Now it reached his wrist. Soon it would cover his whole arm, then his chest, then his heart. The stone. Sleep was killing him, one scale at a time. "Tell me, little humans," Dai-Ho said, trying to keep the pain from his voice. "Do you have doctors on your world?" Dr. Sora, his chief physician, moved closer to the throne. Her reptilian face showed concern. She had been trying to cure him. For 50 years with no success. The greatest minds in the galaxy had failed. What could these primitive beings possibly do? Captain Jin Woo nodded. "Yes, Your Majesty. We have brought our medical officer with us." "How wonderful," Dai-Ho said. His voice dripped with sarcasm. "Perhaps your medicine man can cure what the best doctors in 12 systems could not." He raised his stone-covered hand. "I'll give you 1,000,000 credits if you cure me." The court erupted in laughter. Admiral Hyun-Woo slapped his knee and roared with amusement. The other nobles joined in, their voices echoing off the crystal walls. Even Dr. Sora allowed herself a small smile, but the humans did not laugh. They looked at each other with serious faces. Captain Jin Woo whispered something to his crew. Then a young boy stepped forward. Taemin was barely 16 years old. His hands were rough from working on the ship. His clothes were simple and clean but showed signs of wear. He looked up at the massive emperor without fear. "Your Majesty," Taemin said in a quiet voice, "may I look at your hand?" The laughter stopped. Complete silence filled the throne room. Admiral Hyun-Woo's hand moved to his weapon. No one touched the emperor without permission. Certainly not a human child. Dai-Ho stared at the boy. Something about him was different. While the other humans showed fear and nervousness, this one seemed calm. His dark eyes held no deception, no hidden plans, just honest concern. "You want to touch me?" Dai-Ho asked. "Yes, sir. I think I might be able to help." Dr. Sora stepped forward. "Your Majesty, this is madness. The boy has no training, no equipment. He could carry diseases we don't understand." But Dai-Ho was curious. In 300 years of life, very few things surprised him anymore. This human boy was definitely surprising. "Very well," the Emperor said. He extended his stone-covered hand toward Taemin. "But if you try to harm me, my guards will turn you to ash before you can blink." Taemin nodded. He walked up the steps to the throne, each footstep echoing in the silent room. Every eye watched him. Every weapon was ready to fire. The boy reached out and gently placed his small hand on the Emperor's massive stone-covered forearm. The effect was immediate. A warm feeling spread through Dai-Ho's arm. It was like sunlight after a long winter, like cool water after crossing a desert. The gray stone began to crack. Tiny lines appeared across its surface, spreading outward from where the boy's hand rested. "What?" Dr. Sora started to speak, but stopped. The stone was falling away in small pieces. Underneath, healthy green scales appeared. Scales that had been gray and lifeless for years now gleamed with natural color. The Emperor could feel his arm again. He could move his fingers. Tae-min kept his hand in place for another minute, then stepped back. The Emperor stared at his arm in amazement. The stone disease had retreated by several inches. For the first time in decades, he could close his hand. Into a fist. How? Dr. Sora whispered. Tae-min looked as surprised as everyone else. I don't know. I just wanted to help. Admiral Hyun-woo drew his weapon. Sorcery! The human is using some kind of trick. Wait, Dae-ho commanded. He flexed his fingers, marveling at the feeling. There is no trick here. I can feel the difference. Captain, Jin-woo stepped forward carefully. Your Majesty, we had no idea Tae-min could do this. We came here only to trade. Lies, Admiral Hyun-woo snarled. They planned this. It's some kind of human technology we don't understand. Dr. Sora moved closer to examine the Emperor's arm. She ran her scanning devices over the healed area. Her face grew more confused with each reading. The cellular structure has completely regenerated, she said. The quantum patterns are normal again, but I detect no foreign substances, no energy signatures, no technological intervention of any kind. Dae-ho looked at the human boy who had just done the impossible. Tae-min stood quietly, not boasting about his achievement or demanding immediate payment. He just looked worried about whether he had done something wrong. What is your name, young healer? The Emperor asked. Tae-min, Your Majesty. Well, Tae-min, it seems you have accomplished what the greatest minds in my empire could not. Dae-ho paused, studying the boy's face. Tell me, can you do this again? I think so, sir, if you want me to. Admiral Hyun-woo stepped closer to the throne. Your Majesty, this could be dangerous. We know nothing about these humans or their abilities. But Dae-ho was already planning. If this boy could cure the stone sleep, he could change everything. The disease had been slowly killing not just the Emperor, but thousands of his people across the empire. They had hidden it well, but the plague was spreading. Dr. Sora, the Emperor commanded, prepare quarters for our guests, comfortable quarters, and assign a full medical team to study young Tae-min here. Study him? Captain Jin-woo asked nervously. To understand how he does what he does, Dae-ho explained. Don't worry, Captain. No harm will come to the boy. He may have just saved my life. As the guards escorted the humans away, Dae-ho continued to stare at his healed arm. For the first time in centuries, he felt something he had almost forgotten. Hope. The luxury prison was still a prison, even if the walls were made of crystal and the bed was softer than clouds. Tae-min sat by the window, looking out at the alien city below. Strange vehicles flew between buildings that twisted like spirals, into the sky. Everything was beautiful and terrifying. Are you okay? Asked Nari, his older sister. She was the ship's engineer and the smartest person Tae-min knew. Her worried face made him feel worse about their situation. I'm fine, he lied. Just tired. Captain Jin-woo paced across the room like a caged animal. This is exactly what I was afraid of. We're prisoners now because of your little magic trick. It wasn't magic, Tae-min said quietly. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't magic. Dr. Sora entered the room with 3 assistants carrying strange devices. The alien doctor's reptilian features showed curiosity rather than hostility, which was somewhat comforting. Good morning, Tae-min, she said in careful English. Are you ready for more tests? For the past 2 days, they had scanned him, studied his blood, and examined every part of his body. They found nothing unusual, no special organs, no hidden technology, no genetic modifications. According to every test, he was just a normal human boy. I suppose, Tae-min answered. The tests began again. Scanners that hummed and beeped, devices that felt warm against his skin, samples of blood and hair taken for analysis. Through it all, Dr. Sora asked the same questions over and over. When did you first notice you could do this? I never noticed before yesterday. Do other humans have this ability? Not that I know of. Do you feel anything special when you touch diseased tissue? Just warm, like holding a cup of hot tea. After 2 hours, Dr. Sora dismissed her assistants. She sat down across from Taemin, her large eyes studying his face. You're telling the truth, she said finally. My instruments can detect lies, and you have been completely honest. But that makes this even more mysterious. What do you mean? Your biology is completely normal for a human. Yet yesterday you accomplished something that our most advanced medical technology cannot do. You reversed cellular decay at the quantum level. That should be impossible. Nari leaned forward. What exactly is the stone sleep? We've never heard of it before. Dr. Sora hesitated, then seemed to make a decision. The Emperor would be angry if he knew I was telling you this, but you deserve to understand what you're dealing with. The EEA stone sleep is not just affecting him. It's a plague that has been slowly spreading through our empire for over a century. Captain Jinwoo stopped pacing. A plague? We believe it originated from contact with an ancient artifact on the edge of our territory. At first, only a few miners were affected. The disease turns living tissue into a stone-like substance, starting with the extremities and working inward. It's always fatal, and we've never found a cure. How many people have it? Taemin asked. Millions. We've managed to slow its spread, but not stop it. The Emperor has the most advanced case we've seen that hasn't resulted in death. Most victims die within 50 years of infection. The room fell silent. Taemin felt a heavy weight settling on his shoulders. Millions of people were dying from this disease, and somehow he could cure it. The responsibility was overwhelming. There's something else, Dr. Sora continued. Word has already spread to other star systems. 3 major powers are mobilizing their fleets. Why? Captain Jinwoo asked, though his tone suggested he already knew. Because Emperor Daeho has ruled for over 3 centuries. His enemies have been waiting for the stone sleep to kill him. If he can be cured, if he regains his full strength, their chances of defeating him become very small. So they're coming to stop the cure, Nari said grimly, or to capture the one who can provide it. The door chimed, and Admiral Hyunwoo entered, with 4 guards. His expression was even more hostile than before. Dr. Sora, the Emperor wants to see the boy immediately. As they walked through the crystal corridors, Taemin noticed more guards than before. Soldiers with energy weapons stood at every intersection. The palace was preparing for something. The throne room had been transformed into a medical center. Advanced equipment surrounded the Emperor's chair. Screens displayed complex readouts that Taemin couldn't understand. Emperor Daeho looked better than he had 2 days ago. The healthy green scales had spread further up his arm, and he could move with less pain. But his expression was troubled. Taemin, the Emperor said, I have a proposal for you. Yes, sir? I want you to continue the treatments, complete them, heal me entirely. The Emperor paused. In return, I will give you anything you want. Money, ships, an entire planet if you desire it. Taemin looked at the massive alien ruler. Despite his fearsome appearance, he seemed almost desperate. I'll help you, Taemin said simply. But I don't want anything in return. Admiral Hyunwoo snorted. Lies. Everyone wants something. Not everyone, Emperor Daeho said quietly. He studied Taemin's face with ancient eyes. Very well. Let us begin. Taemin approached the throne and placed his hands on the Emperor's arm. The warm feeling flowed through him again, stronger this time. He could feel the diseased tissue responding, the stone-like substance dissolving and healthy cells growing to replace it. But something else was happening. As the warmth flowed out of him, Taemin felt tired, more tired than he should after such a simple act. He ignored the feeling and concentrated on healing. When he stepped back, the Emperor's entire left arm was healthy. Green scales gleamed in the light, and Daeho could move all his fingers with perfect control. Magnificent, Dr. Sora breathed. The cellular regeneration is complete. But she was frowning as she looked at her readings of Taemin. The boy had aged. It was subtle, but the scanning equipment detected it. His cells showed signs of accelerated aging. Your Majesty, she said carefully, I believe the healing process has a cost. The boy is somehow transferring his life energy to repair the damage. Emperor Daeho looked at Taemin with new concern. Is this true? Are you harming yourself to heal me? Taemin shrugged. I feel a little tired, but I'm okay. The readings suggest otherwise, Dr. Sora said. If this continues, the accelerated aging could become dangerous. Admiral Hyunwoo stepped forward. Then we extract the ability from him. Transfer it to someone else or replicate it artificially? No, Emperor Daeho said firmly. I will not harm the boy who has helped me. An alarm began sounding throughout the palace. A guard rushed in and whispered urgently to Admiral Hyunwoo. Your Majesty, the Admiral said grimly. Long-range sensors have detected 3 fleets entering our outer system. They'll be here within days. Emperor Daeho closed his newly healed hand into a fist. It seems our enemies have decided to act quickly. He looked at Taemin with an expression that mixed gratitude and regret. Young healer, I fear you have become the most important person in the galaxy, and that may be the most dangerous thing that could happen to you. The explosion shook the entire palace. Crystal walls cracked and reformed as the building's defense systems activated. Taemin was thrown from his chair as another blast echoed through the corridors. What's happening? Nari shouted over the noise. Captain Jin Woo helped Taemin to his feet. Sounds like the war has started early. Admiral Hyunwoo burst through their door with a squad of guards. His face was grim with urgency. All humans, come with me now. The palace is under attack. They ran through twisting corridors as the building shuddered around them. Through the crystal windows, Taemin could see small ships firing at the palace defenses. Explosions bloomed like deadly flowers in the alien sky. Who's attacking? Captain Jin Woo asked as they ran. Assassins, Admiral Hyunwoo replied. 3 different species working together. They all want the same thing. He didn't need to say what that thing was. Everyone knew they were after Taemin. The throne room had been converted into a war center. Holographic displays showed the battle raging outside. Emperor Daeho stood in the center, directing his forces with quick commands. His healed arm moved smoothly as he pointed at different tactical positions. Your Majesty, Admiral Hyunwoo reported. The humans are secure. Good. The Emperor turned to face them. I'm afraid your presence here has attracted unwanted attention. 7 ships managed to break through our outer defenses. They're not trying to destroy the palace. They're trying to capture it. Dr. Sora approached with a data tablet in her hands. Her expression was troubled. Your Majesty, I've been analyzing the boy's condition. Each healing session is causing significant aging. At this rate, the treatments needed to cure you completely would... She paused, looking at Taemin with sympathy. Would what? Emperor, Daeho demanded. Would likely kill him. The words hung in the air like a death sentence. Taemin felt everyone's eyes on him. Captain Jin Woo moved protectively closer. Then we stop the treatments, the Emperor said firmly. Your Majesty, Admiral Hyunwoo protested. You're not thinking clearly. The boy's sacrifice could save millions of our people. I will not murder a child for my own benefit. It might not be murder, Nari said suddenly. Everyone turned to look at her. She was studying readings on her portable computer. I've been researching Taemin's medical history. There's something unusual about his birth. What do you mean? Dr. Sora asked. He was born on Kepler 442b during a rare stellar alignment. The planet has unique quantum field properties. I think that's what gives him his ability. Can you prove it? Emperor Deho asked. Maybe. If I can access the planetary data archives and cross-reference them with quantum field research. Another explosion rocked the palace. The lights flickered and emergency power activated. Admiral, the Emperor commanded, give the human engineer access to our databases and get me a status report. Your Majesty, 3 more fleets have entered the system, the Keth Alliance, the Zephyrian Collective, and the Iron Stars Federation. They're demanding we surrender the human healer. Emperor Deho's eyes flashed with anger. Tell them they can go freeze in the void. Sir, our forces are outnumbered 20-1. Then we fight with what we have. Taemin stepped forward. Your Majesty, maybe I should go with them. If it stops the fighting... Absolutely not, the Emperor said. These beings would dissect you to understand your abilities. You would save no one. Dr. Sora was reading her instruments again. Your Majesty, there's something else. The boy's aging isn't random. It follows a specific pattern related to quantum energy transfer. Meaning? Meaning it might be reversible. Our bioregeneration technology could potentially restore his cellular age, but it would require precise calibration with his unique quantum signature. How long would that take? Days, maybe weeks. And it's never been tested on humans. Captain Jin Woo shook his head. Too risky. But Taemin was thinking about the millions of people dying from the stone sleep. People like Emperor Deho who were suffering while their enemies gathered fleets to prevent a cure. I want to try it, he said quietly. Taemin? No, Nari protested. We don't know if it will work. But we know what happens if we do nothing. The Emperor dies, his people die, and the galaxy goes to war over a cure that dies with me. Another blast shook the palace. This one was closer, and the lights went out completely before emergency power restored them. Your Majesty, a guard reported. Assault teams have breached the lower levels. They're fighting their way up. Emperor Deho looked at the tactical display, then at Taemin. The boy's face showed determination beyond his years. Dr. Sora, how long do you need to prepare the bioregeneration procedure? At least 6 hours, assuming we can stabilize the quantum field equations. Admiral, how long can we hold them off? Admiral Hyunwoo studied the battle reports. 4 hours, maybe 5 if we're lucky. Then we need to buy more time. The Emperor stood to his full imposing height. Open a communication channel to the enemy fleets. The main screen flickered to life, showing 3 alien commanders. Their faces were filled with hostility and greed. I am Emperor Deho, he announced. I understand you want something that belongs to me. The human healer, one of them replied. Surrender him and we'll let you live. Interesting proposition, but I have a counteroffer. Face me in single combat. If you win, you can have whatever you want. If I win, you leave my system immediately. The alien commanders looked at each other. Single combat was an ancient tradition, but one that hadn't been used in centuries. You're in no condition to fight, one of them sneered. The stone, sleep has weakened you. Emperor Deho raised his healed arm and flexed his claws. Perhaps. Shall we find out? While the commanders argued among themselves, Dr. Sora was already preparing her equipment. Nari worked frantically at her computer, running calculations about quantum fields and cellular regeneration. Taemin watched the preparations with growing anxiety. The procedure could kill him, but doing nothing would definitely kill millions of others. I can feel them, he said suddenly. Feel who? Dr. Sora asked. The sick people, all over the Empire. It's like... Taemin struggled to find the words. Like hearing people crying for help but very far away. Emperor Deho turned from the communications display. You can sense the disease in others? I think so. It's gotten stronger since I started healing you. How many? Dr. Sora asked urgently. Tae-min closed his eyes and concentrated. The sensation was overwhelming. Thousands upon thousands of people suffering from the same stone disease that was killing the Emperor. Too many, he whispered. There are too many to count. The realization hit everyone at the same time. This wasn't just about saving one emperor. This was about saving an entire species. And the responsibility was resting on the shoulders of a 16-year-old boy who was aging years with every healing he performed. The battle sounds were getting closer. Time was running out, and they had to make a choice that would determine the fate of millions. The combat arena deep within the palace had not been used for 2 centuries. Ancient stone circles surrounded a central platform where Emperor Daeho would face his challenger. The 3 enemy commanders had chosen their strongest warrior, a massive creature called Vex Tar from the Iron Stars Federation. Tae-min watched from the medical observation booth as Dr. Sora made final preparations for the bioregeneration procedure. His reflection in the metal surface showed the truth he'd been trying to ignore. Gray streaks ran through his black hair. Lines marked his young face. He looked like a man of 30, not a boy of 16. The quantum field calibration is complete, Nari reported. Her hands shook as she worked. But Tae-min, the risk is still enormous. I know, he said quietly. But look at the numbers. She didn't need to look. They both knew the math. Scanner reports from across the empire showed the stone sleep affecting 4.7 million people. The disease was spreading faster than anyone had admitted. Entire worlds would be lost within a generation. Below them, Emperor Daeho entered the arena. His opponent was twice his size with 4 arms and natural armor plating. Vextar carried weapons that crackled with energy. This is madness, Captain Jinwoo muttered. The Emperor is still half sick. He can't win this fight. But Tae-min watched Daeho's movements carefully. The healed arm moved with perfect coordination. Where the stone disease had been cured, the Emperor's natural strength was returning. He might surprise us, Tae-min said. Dr. Sora activated her communications link. Your Majesty, the bioregeneration chamber is ready. We can begin the procedure after your combat. If I survive, came the Emperor's dry response. The fight began with brutal efficiency. Vextar charged forward, all 4 arms swinging massive. Weapons, Emperor Daeho dodged with grace that belied his enormous size. His claws, sharp as diamond, found gaps in his opponent's armor. But the stone disease still affected most of his body. His left leg moved stiffly. His tail, once a deadly weapon, could barely lift off the ground. Each movement caused visible pain. He's losing, Captain Jinwoo said grimly. Vextar landed a powerful blow that sent the Emperor crashing into the arena wall. Crystal fragments scattered across the floor. Daeho struggled to rise, his breathing labored. I have to help him, Tae-min said, moving toward the chamber door. No, Dr. Sora blocked his path. The arena is shielded. Combat rules forbid interference. Then people die for nothing. Maybe not. Nari was studying her readings. I think I found something in the quantum field data. She displayed her calculations on the main screen. Complex equations filled the air in holographic form. What am I looking at? Dr. Sora asked. A way to amplify Tae-min's healing ability. The quantum resonance from his birth world can be artificially recreated, but it requires a massive energy source. How massive? The entire palace power grid, maybe more. Below them, Emperor Daeho managed to grab one of Vextar's weapons. He used it to block the next attack. But his movements were getting slower. The stone sleep was sapping his strength. The amplification would let him heal multiple people at once, Nari continued. Possibly thousands. But the energy drain would be... She paused, looking at her brother with tears in her eyes. Fatal, Tae-min finished. It would kill me. Not necessarily. The bioregeneration chamber could keep you alive during the process. Your aging would accelerate rapidly. But we could reverse it afterward. In theory. In theory? Dr. Sora studied the calculations. It's never been attempted. The quantum mathematics are sound, but the biological stress would be extreme. A massive crash echoed through the chamber. Emperor Deho had been thrown to the ground again. This time he didn't get up immediately. Vextar raised his weapons for a killing blow. "I'm going to do it," Taemin said firmly. "Taemin, no." Captain Jinwoo grabbed his arm. "This is insane. You're talking about risking your life for people you've never met. They're still people. You're 16 years old. You should be worried about school and friends, not saving entire civilizations." Taemin looked at his captain with eyes that seemed far older than 16. When did age ever matter for doing what's right? Dr. Sora was already activating the bioregeneration chamber. The cylindrical device hummed to life, filled with golden energy that swirled like liquid light. "If we do this, there's no going." "Back," she warned. "Once the quantum amplification begins, stopping it could kill you instantly." "I understand." Nari grabbed her brother's hand. "I should have protected you better. Our parents asked me to keep you safe." "You did. You helped me understand what I can do. That's the greatest protection you could give me." Below them, Emperor Deho was fighting desperately. His healed arm gave him an advantage, but it wasn't enough. Vextar's superior size and health were winning the battle. "The amplification will take 15 minutes to reach full power," Dr. Sora explained as she helped Taemin into the chamber. "During that time, your healing ability will grow exponentially. By the end, you should be able to reach every infected person in the Empire simultaneously." "Will it hurt?" "I don't know. No one has ever tried this before." Taemin stepped into the golden energy field. Immediately, he felt the quantum resonance connecting him to every stone sleep victim across the galaxy. Their pain became his pain. Their desperation flowed through him like a river of suffering. "Begin the procedure," he said through gritted teeth. Dr. Sora activated the amplification sequence. Power from across the palace began flowing into the chamber. The golden energy grew brighter, and Taemin felt his healing ability expanding. In the arena below, Emperor Deho was on his knees. Vextar stood over him with weapons raised. "Surrender!" the alien warrior demanded. "Give us the healer, and your death will be quick." "Never!" Deho gasped. But as Vextar prepared to strike, something extraordinary happened. The stone disease on the Emperor's leg began to crack and fall away. Healthy scales appeared where gray stone had been moments before. Deho looked up in amazement, then his eyes found the observation booth. Through the crystal walls, he could see the golden glow of the bioregeneration chamber. "The boy," he whispered. Strength flowed back into his body as the stone sleep retreated. His tail swept Vextar's legs, sending the massive warrior crashing to the ground. The Emperor rose to his feet, fully healed for the first time in centuries. The fight that followed was swift and decisive. Emperor Deho moved with the speed and power of his youth. Vextar, skilled as he was, had never faced a completely healthy Dragon Emperor. "It's working," Nari breathed, watching her brother in the chamber. But Taemin was aging rapidly. His hair turned completely gray, then white. Deep lines carved themselves across his face. The golden energy around him pulsed with each heartbeat, and each pulse aged him further. Across the Empire, millions of people felt their stone disease beginning to crack and fall away. The quantum amplification was reaching every infected person, healing them all simultaneously. But the cost was becoming clear. Taemin was giving decades of his life to save them. In the arena, Emperor Deho stood victorious over his defeated opponent. The enemy fleets, bound by the ancient combat laws, began withdrawing from the system, but their victory might come at the ultimate price. The golden energy in the bioregeneration chamber pulsed like a dying star. Taemin floated in its center, his body aging decades with each passing minute. What had been a 16-year-old boy now looked like a man of 60, with white hair and deeply lined skin. His cellular structure is destabilizing, Dr. Sora reported urgently. The quantum amplification is working, but it's burning through his life force too quickly. Nari watched her brother with tears streaming down her face. How much longer? 3 more minutes to reach full amplification. But I don't think he can survive it. Through the chamber walls, they could see the results of Taemin's sacrifice. Holographic displays showed reports from across the Empire. On world after world, people were being cured of the stone sleep. Entire hospitals were emptying as patients walked out healed. Emperor Daeho burst into the medical chamber, still breathing hard from his combat. His completely healed body moved, with fluid grace, but his face showed desperate concern. "Stop the procedure," he commanded. "We can't," Dr. Sora replied. "Interrupting the quantum field now would kill him instantly." "Then what can we do?" "The bioregeneration process should reverse his aging, but only if he survives the amplification phase." Captain Jin Woo paced frantically. "There has to be another way, some other source of quantum energy we can use." Nari suddenly stopped crying. Her eyes widened as she stared at her calculations. "There is. But it would require—" She paused, looking at Emperor Daeho. "What?" the Emperor demanded. "Your life force. You were infected with the stone sleep for centuries. Your body adapted to quantum field manipulation. If you entered the chamber with Taemin, you could share the energy burden." "That would kill the Emperor," Dr. Sora protested. "Not necessarily. The stone sleep created quantum pathways in his cellular structure. He could channel some of the energy load, reducing the strain on Taemin." Emperor Daeho didn't hesitate. "Do it." "Your Majesty, this is incredibly dangerous. We don't know if it will work." "I don't care. The boy is dying to save my people. The least I can do is share the risk." Alarms began sounding throughout the palace. Not battle alarms this time, but something else. "What now?" Captain Jin Woo asked. A communications officer appeared on the main screen. "Your Majesty, we're receiving thousands of transmissions from across the Empire. The healing effect is spreading beyond our borders. Other species are reporting their people being cured of diseases we didn't even know they had." Dr. Sora's instruments confirmed it. "The quantum amplification is creating a cascade effect. It's not just curing the stone sleep anymore. It's healing cellular damage of all kinds across multiple star systems." "How is that possible?" "The quantum field resonance is spreading like ripples in a pond. Every person healed becomes a minor amplification point, extending the effect to others nearby." On the screens, they watched reports from enemy fleets. Ships that had come to capture Taemin were now requesting assistance. Their crews were being healed of genetic disorders, radiation poisoning, and chronic illnesses. "This is unprecedented," Dr. Sora whispered. "He's not just healing individuals, he's healing entire sectors of space." But the cost was becoming unbearable. Taemin's body was failing. His heart rate was erratic, and his breathing had become labored. "I'm going in," Emperor Daeho announced. "Your Majesty, wait," Dr. Sora protested. "Let me adjust the chamber settings first." "There's no time." The Emperor stepped into the bioregeneration chamber beside Taemin. Immediately, the golden energy began flowing through him as well. The strain on Taemin visibly decreased as Daeho absorbed part of the quantum load, but now both of them were aging. The Emperor's scales began to darken and crack as centuries of stored life force flowed out of him. "It's working," Nari reported. "Taemin's vital signs are stabilizing." Outside the palace, something extraordinary was happening. The enemy fleets had stopped their retreat. Instead, they were forming protective formations around the planet. The healing effect had reached their crews, and they were experiencing the same miraculous recovery as everyone else. "Your Majesty," a communication came from one of the enemy commanders. We wish to formally apologize for our aggression. Our people owe their lives to your human healer. Similar messages poured in from across the galaxy. Species that had been enemies for centuries were putting aside their conflicts as the healing wave spread from system to system. 1 minute remaining, Dr. Sora announced. Both Tai Min and Emperor Deho looked ancient now. The boy appeared to be in his 80s, while the Emperor's magnificent scales had turned a dull gray. But they were both still alive. I can feel them all, Tai Min whispered. Everyone who's being healed. It's like being connected to the entire galaxy. What? Do you see? Emperor Deho asked. Peace. For the first time in centuries, there's real peace. The amplification reached its peak. For one blazing moment, the quantum field extended across dozens of star systems. Billions of beings felt the healing touch of human compassion flowing through space itself. Then the energy began to subside. Dr. Sora immediately activated the bioregeneration reversal process. Golden light swirled around both figures in the chamber, but now it was restoring rather than draining their life force. Will it work? Captain Jinwoo asked. I don't know. The quantum patterns are unlike anything we've ever recorded. They watched as youth slowly returned to Taemin's face. The deep lines smoothed away. His white hair darkened to black again, and his frail body regained its teenage strength. Emperor Deho's recovery was slower but equally remarkable. His scales regained their brilliant green color, and his movements became fluid once more. When the chamber finally opened, both stepped out exhausted but alive. How do you feel? Dr. Sora asked. Taemin smiled weakly. Like I've lived 1,000 lifetimes in the past hour. The quantum patterns in your cells have stabilized, she reported after scanning them both. But they've been permanently altered. You're both connected to the healing field now. What does that mean? It means, Emperor Deho said, understanding, dawning in his ancient eyes, that this was just the beginning. Reports were still flooding in from across the galaxy. The healing effect had touched dozens of species, curing diseases that had plagued them for millennia. But more importantly, it had created something unprecedented. For the first time in galactic history, every major power was united by a single event. They had all received the same gift from the same source. The aggressive fleets that had come to capture or kill Taemin were now requesting permission to establish diplomatic relations. You've changed everything, Emperor Deho told Taemin. This galaxy will never be the same. We changed everything, Taemin corrected. I couldn't have done it alone. Nari hugged her brother tightly. You nearly died, you know. But I didn't. And neither did anyone else. As they spoke, delegations from former enemy species were already requesting landing permission. The galaxy was coming together to meet the human boy who had healed them all. But the greatest change was yet to come. 5 years had passed since the Great Healing, as historians were calling it. The Crystal Palace had been transformed into something unprecedented in galactic history, a center of peace where former enemies worked together as allies. Taemin stood in the new Healing Core Training Center, watching a group of young humans practice their quantum field techniques. They were all from Kepler 442b, born during the same rare stellar alignments that had given him his abilities. 12 healers so far, with more being discovered each year. Remember, he told his students, healing isn't about power. It's about understanding. Feel the quantum patterns. Don't force them. A young girl named Mi Jin raised her hand. Master Taemin, why can only humans do this? We don't know yet. Dr. Sora thinks it has something to do with how human consciousness interacts with quantum fields, but maybe other species will develop similar abilities in time. The truth was more complex than he could explain to children. The Great Healing had changed the fundamental quantum structure of local space. Dozens of species were reporting new, Abilities among their youngest generation, telepathic connections, enhanced empathy, even minor healing gifts. Tae-min, came a familiar voice. Emperor Daeho entered the training room, moving with the easy grace of perfect health. The years had been kind to him. No longer burdened by the stone sleep, he seemed younger despite his ancient age. "Your Majesty," the children chorused, bowing respectfully. "At ease, young healers. Continue your practice." Taemin walked with the Emperor to the observation deck overlooking the capital city. The view never failed to amaze him. Ships from dozens of different worlds filled the sky in orderly traffic patterns. Beings who had been mortal enemies now worked together in the streets below. "The Galactic Healing Council wants to expand the program again," Emperor Daeho said. "3 more sectors have requested human healers. We can't keep up with the demand. Training takes years, and we only find a few new candidates each year." "I know. But the alternative is returning to the old ways. War, suffering, endless conflict." Tae-min nodded. The great healing had done more than cure diseases. It had created an unprecedented level of understanding between species. When billions of beings experience the same healing touch, the same sense of connection, old hatreds became impossible to maintain. "There's something else," the Emperor continued. "The deep space monitoring stations have detected something unusual." "What kind of unusual?" "Quantum signatures similar to yours, but coming from beyond our galaxy. Much stronger signals." Taemin felt a chill of excitement and fear. "Other healers?" "We don't know. But if there are beings out there with abilities like yours, first contact could change everything again." They were interrupted by Nari, who had become the head of Healing Core Technology Development. Her portable scanner was beeping urgently. "Taemin, you need to see this. The quantum field readings around the palace are spiking. Is someone in trouble?" "No, it's not a medical emergency. The spikes are too regular, too controlled. It's almost like..." "Like what?" "Like someone is trying to communicate." They rushed to the main sensor array, where Dr. Sora was already analyzing the data. Her reptilian features showed deep concentration. "The quantum pulses are definitely artificial," she reported. "And they're coming from the edge of the galaxy." "Can we decode them?" "I'm trying. The pattern is complex, but there's definitely intelligence behind it." Captain Jinwoo, now Admiral of the Human Vorthak Alliance Fleet, joined them in the sensor room. "Long-range scouts confirm it. Something big is heading our way from intergalactic space." "How big?" Emperor Daeho asked. "Bigger than anything we've ever seen. It's not a ship, it's more like a small moon. And it's generating quantum fields that dwarf what we achieved during the Great Healing." Taemin closed his eyes and extended his senses, trying to feel whatever was approaching. The sensation was overwhelming, like standing next to a waterfall of pure healing energy. "They're healers," he said with certainty. "Much more powerful than us, but definitely healers." "How can you be sure?" "Because I can feel their intentions. They're not coming to conquer or destroy. They're coming to learn." Dr. Sora's scanner suddenly erupted with activity. "The quantum signals are changing. I think they're trying to establish communication." The main display activated, showing a series of mathematical equations written in pure energy. But these weren't just numbers. They conveyed meaning, emotion, even personality. "It's beautiful," Mi Young, the former ambassador, whispered. She had become the head of interspecies relations. "They're not just sending data, they're sending themselves." As they watched, the equations resolved into images. Beings of pure energy, existing as living quantum fields. They had evolved beyond physical form, becoming healers on a cosmic scale. "They've been watching us," Taemin realized. The great healing sent ripples across space. They felt it from another galaxy. The images changed, showing what these beings had accomplished. Dead worlds restored to life, Extinct species recreated from quantum memory, entire star systems healed from the damage of ancient wars. They want to teach us, Emperor Deho said with wonder. They're offering to share their knowledge. But why? Nari asked. What do they gain from helping us? The answer came in the final set of images. The energy beings showed their own past. They had once been physical creatures like the galaxy's current inhabitants. They had discovered healing, abilities, and used them to transcend their limitations. But in becoming pure energy, they had lost something essential. They could heal on an unimaginable scale, but they could no longer understand individual suffering. They could restore dead worlds, but couldn't comfort a crying child. They need us as much as we need them, Taemin understood. They want to remember what it means to be mortal. The communication ended with coordinates and a simple message in dozens of languages. Come as friends. Teach us to heal hearts as we have learned to heal worlds. Emperor Deho turned to face the assembled group. It seems our work is expanding beyond anything we imagined. Are we ready for this? Captain Jinwoo asked. Taemin looked around at his friends and colleagues. 5 years ago, he had been a scared boy touching an alien emperor's hand. Now he was being invited to learn from beings who had mastered healing on a galactic scale. I don't know if we're ready, he said honestly, but I know we have to try. 6 months later, the first joint expedition departed for the rendezvous coordinates. Humans, Vorthak, and representatives from dozens of other species traveled together toward a meeting that would reshape their understanding of life itself. Taemin stood on the bridge of the flagship, watching stars that no one from his galaxy had ever seen before. Beside him, Emperor Deho pointed out constellations that ancient Vorthak mythology claimed were the homes of gods. Nervous? The Emperor asked. Excited, Taemin replied. For the first time, I feel like we're not just healing people. We're healing the universe itself, one touch at a time. Taemin smiled, remembering their first meeting in the Crystal Throne Room. One touch at a time. The ship flew onward toward a future where healing would become the foundation of civilization itself, where former enemies would work together not just in peace, but in the shared goal of reducing suffering throughout all existence. And at the center of it all was a young man who had learned that sometimes the greatest strength wasn't the power to destroy, but the courage to heal. The galaxy would never be the same. But then again, neither would Taemin.